All right, gather around, young detectives. We're jumping right into our animated storybook explainer today to uncover a mystery deep in the woods. It's this awesome little tale called Oliver Owl and the Missing Moonberries. And you know what? It holds an absolutely crucial lesson for all of us about how we handle the wild things we hear every single day.
But before we even meet our main character, I want you to think about something. Think about a time when someone, maybe on the playground, maybe in class, leaned in and told you this totally wild secret. Did you just completely believe them right away, only to find out later it literally wasn't true at all? Yeah, we've all been there. Keep that exact feeling in your head, because that is the engine driving the whole mystery we're unpacking right now.
Okay, let's set the scene. Picture the Silverleaf Forest. It's this incredibly peaceful, cool autumn night. The air is crisp, the moonlight is just filtering down through the canopy. It's beautiful. And living right in the middle of this is a wise little owl named Oliver. Every single evening, like clockwork, Oliver flies out to collect these super rare, glowing blue moonberries for his family's dinner. It's his quiet routine. But tonight, well, that piece is about to get completely interrupted. Enter Ricky Raccoon. Now imagine Ricky flicking his striped tail, leaning in real close, and using this sneaky, loud whisper to drop some absolute bombshell news. He says, "I found a huge moonberry bush near the river. It's full of berries bigger than apples. Seriously, bigger than apples. Remember, regular glowing moonberries are already super rare, so finding giant ones, that is literally the find of a lifetime." And Ricky is practically begging Oliver to hurry up before anyone else gets to them. So let's actually pause the story right here. What would you do? Like, would you just fly straight to the river without even thinking? I mean, Oliver has known Ricky for a really long time, and Ricky's always been a friendly neighbor. So Oliver's gut reaction is just to trust him. Without taking even a split second to think it through, he grabs his basket and zooms off into the night sky. But is blind trust really the best move? Just look at how fast things escalate. Oliver's peaceful dusk routine is completely hijacked. He goes from being this calm gatherer to a frantic late-night treasure hunter, basically racing through the dark forest to get to the river. And, when we rush like this, when we're just flying on pure adrenaline, our brains kind of skip right over the logical warning signs that are flashing right in front of us. And speaking of warning signs, right in the middle of his frantic flight, Oliver literally bumps into Molly Mole. Molly is just taking her sweet time, thoughtfully digging near a tree root. When she asks Oliver where he's rushing to, and he breathlessly blurts out the whole giant moonberry story, well, Molly offers this brilliant little piece of caution. She says, "That sounds unusual. Moonberries don't usually grow near water."
Okay, young detectives, here's another crucial choice. On one hand, you have Oliver's buddy, Ricky, hyping up this exciting, unbelievable tip. On the other hand, you've got Molly Mole making a really sound, logical point about where moonberries actually grow. So, what's the move? Should Oliver just keep riding that adrenaline wave and trust Ricky? Or should he pump the brakes and think about Molly's warning for a second? The wild thing is, Oliver actually knows the right answer. Deep down, he remembers this golden rule from his grandmother. It's good to trust others, but always verify the facts. Trust, but verify. It's right there. But man, the idea of those giant berries is just too tempting. He doesn't want to think his friend is lying. So he ignores his grandmother's wisdom, brushes off Molly's warning, tells himself Ricky's got to be right, and just keeps flying. So Oliver finally makes it to the dark riverbank. He looks behind the rocks, he checks under the bushes, he peers through the reeds. Ricky promised these massive moonberry bushes, but what does Oliver actually find? Absolutely nothing. Well, scratch that. Not exactly nothing. He finds a trail of muddy footprints leading straight into an old, hollow log. Yep, the reality is looking completely different from Ricky's big story. Picture the suspense here. Oliver slowly creeps up to that hollow log. He peeks inside the dark opening, and guess what? Ricky Raccoon is huddled right in there. And get this, he's got sticky paws, glowing blueberry juice just smeared all over his face, and he's surrounded by baskets overflowing with regular-sized moonberries. Oliver just caught Ricky totally red-handed. The whole giant berry thing, a complete myth. Ricky practically jumps out of his fur. He is completely busted. He gives this super embarrassed confession, saying, "I didn't exactly find giant bushes. I just wanted everyone to search somewhere else so I could collect all the berries myself." Wow. So Ricky made a super selfish choice. He made up this wild, exciting lie just to distract his friends so he could hoard the whole stash for himself.
Now, I think a lot of us might just yell or get super mad in a moment like this. But Oliver is wise. Sure, he feels hurt, and he tells Ricky he could have just asked for help. But the coolest part is that Oliver admits his own mistake too. He tells Ricky, "I trusted your words without checking if they made sense. Molly even warned me." Oliver realizes he totally let his excitement override his logic.
So the two of them just sit there silently for a minute in the cool autumn air, the moon glowing up above, and Ricky finally realizes the damage his lie actually did to their friendship. He lets out a big sigh, pushes one of those overflowing baskets toward Oliver, and asks super softly, "Can we start over, this time honestly?"
Oliver smiles gently and says yes, but with one major condition. Next time, he is absolutely going to remember to trust and verify. And what does that mean? It means believing in your friends and having a good heart, for sure, but still checking the facts to make sure they actually make sense. You can be a fantastic, trusting friend while still listening to the Molly Moles of the world who remind you to use your head.
To wrap things up, Oliver and Ricky pick up those heavy baskets and carry the glowing moonberries back together, sharing them with all the other animals. And you know what? From that night on, Ricky actually became known for telling the truth, not for his selfish tricks. Peace and trust were completely restored in the Silverleaf Forest.
So, as we finish up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question. The next time a friend runs up to you with some wild, unbelievable story, whether it's about giant moonberries or just a crazy rumor at school, what are you going to do? How will you be a good friend and trust them, while also remembering Oliver's wisdom to take a step back, look for the muddy footprints, and verify the facts? Think about that, young detectives. See you next time.